2 minutes. I'm not gonna make it. With half my health. Stay here. Ah!
What was that?
The sound of a husky dying. For the third time in a row.
I thought you were too tough to die.
No, not if I'm playing as Kratos.
Oh, we got a viewer right away, right after
Alright.
right after we went live too.
Yay!
Probably someone from my tabletop group. Are you ready?
As ready as I'm ever gonna get.
I'm ready. Let me just put my phone on silent.
Oh, we got 2 viewers now.
There we go. I'm ready.
Took you long enough. Nah, I'm kidding. Let me get one thing open and we will begin.
Alright.
Works for me.
There we go. Hello everyone, welcome to stream. This is part 1 of the charity stream week. Uh, the charity that we're doing this for this week is called Trans Lifeline, which is currently available in Canada and the US. Hopefully it will spread to other countries, but for now it's just the 2 countries, and they help people through hotline basically. Mostly people who are trans or planning to become trans, uh, have questions or concerns about trans, etc. Uh, they've also I believe they've started as or from 2014, and as of today, they've answered nearly 70,000 calls, and uh, given microgrants to those who need the support, whether it's financially for their ID changes, uh, court updates and whatnot. Um, for microgrants, they've given over 300. I think was it 300 or 30,000? I don't remember. I have to look that up again. Uh, they they've given basically a lot of money in microgrants alone. Um, if you want to support them, you can go check out their website, or you can leave a stream donation to the charity. To, at tiltify.com / @DracosDragon / support for trans / donate. The link is in the description below as well. Now, with all that being said, as you can see on the screen, this is Draconically Speaking, which was formerly known as Thoughtful Thursdays, but since it's not going to be on Thursdays every time, um, we figured might as well change up the name, hence the new name, Draconically Speaking. And the first live episode is a puzzle games episode, and this time it's a topic about trivia games specifically. Uh, Before we get into all that, we have a new person in the group. Would you like to introduce yourselves to the viewers?
Hello. My name. Hang on. If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. No, my name is Dusky Shine. Dusky T Shine to be specific. T stands for twinkle, but nobody knows that yet. Oh crap.
You just announced it to the world.
Oh crap. Anyways,
Now everybody knows.
yes. Anyways, I am a husky puppy / unicorn who sucks at magic. And for those who are curious, my father was the husky. Let's see. My YouTube is Alex the Husky Reborn. The link will be in the link will be in the description below.
In the
Yes, in the I am a Rubik's Cube enthusiast, video game player, space-time traveler, fabric unraveler. Totally didn't steal that from a SpongeBob movie.
What is this SpongeBob you speak of?
Exactly! And for those of you who do not know, right at the moment I'm in a struggle for power on God of War 2. If there's anything you need to know, if you want my Discord, please feel free to message me on YouTube, and I will message you back. Anything else?
This isn't a call hotline, you know that?
Yeah, I know. But for people who want to get to know me, how are they going to get to know me if they don't know my information?
Who said they need to know?
Oh.
I'm kidding. Now, and of course, we also have Doodle.
Hi, I'm Doodle, also known as Sophie, Diamondia Doodle. I'm the resident brony pony person here. Yeah, that's me. I have a YouTube channel. I have a Twitch channel. I don't make use of either, so I'm mostly here.
Wow, that was quick.
You know, I promised I wouldn't talk a ton and wouldn't I promised I'd try and keep myself brief for this one because we are live. So I'm trying to be, because we can't edit it. We can't put this in post.
We can't use YouTube Studio?
This is live.
I know, but afterwards we can't edit it afterwards?
Yes, but this is live.
Oh,
There
yeah.
are people watching now.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. A little bit of stupidity going on in my brain here.
Not saying anything.
A little bit of stupidity going on in my brain here. I lost a couple thousand brain cells last time I made a video.
Oh, was that a drunk stream?
No, it was getting over with Bennett Foddy.
Ah.
I can still smell the pain.
If only you've seen how my drunk streams have gone.
I've enabled drunk streams.
You've enabled?
I'm an enabler, yes. I'm a
Wow.
bartender.
Ah, that's what
I
you mean.
bartend. I bartend occasionally, and I've been known to bartend for drunk streams.
Yeah, one that that I think me and Husky both know of.
Oh yeah, I've
Hmm.
bartended for fees.
Nice.
Rena's drunk streams. Usually when I bartend for her drunk streams, like she makes a ton more money.
Hmm.
But it's been a while because she doesn't. She lives on the other side of the country from me.
Okay.
Uh,
uh, so who's going to start this one off?
I don't know.
So we're talking puzzle games. I guess I'll start it off because when you're live, you can't have dead air.
No, you
Um,
can't.
so we're doing puzzle games this week on Draconically Speaking. This is the inaugural episode of Draconically Speaking. Previously, it was Thoughtful Thursdays. We decided not to do Thursdays, and folks wanted us live, so here we are. Uh, Usually, the way this works is we do best and worst of at least the puzzle or the topic that we're aware of. So in this case, puzzle games. So it's like the best of the puzzle games for each of us, and then the worst puzzle game for each of us. Um, I'm going to. I guess I'm starting because I'm talking.
All right.
Uh, so for me, the best puzzle game I think I've ever played, or at least the most interesting one, is a little game that came out on the heels of, I believe, Portal 2, called Quantum Conundrum. And Quantum Conundrum is a game that plays with the standard. The levels are puzzles, but the puzzles are created around uh, physics and changing the laws of physics for individual items. Um, Kind of like whereas Portal was all velocity and like redirection of velocity and the like. Quantum Conundrum is all about playing with masses of items, or I'm trying to think. There are a couple of different powers or things that you can do. Mass is one of them. So you could jump on a brick, and you can make the brick light and start it moving forward. And then you have to kind of alternate between letting it become light and letting it become heavy in order to keep it floating. Things like that in order to get across rooms. It's an interesting game that requires a lot of thought to get through. I myself have never actually gotten through all of it. I think I beat the first few levels and then ended up with other concerns and other issues, and just really haven't had a chance to revisit it. Um, it was made by some of the same people that worked on Portal, uh, but it's got a very different feel to it, very cartoony. It's got some great voice acting. One of the main voice actors is John Delancey, I believe. I'd have to go double check that. He plays the professor that didn't create the puzzles, but he created the item that you're using in order to try and solve the puzzles. And overall, it's just a really, really solidly built and interesting puzzle game. So who wants to give their best of next?
I suppose I shall. The game I chose was, of course, you mentioned it, Portal 2. Now, mainly, God, unscripted is so not my style.
This is why
Um,
this is why I tie everything up a little bit beforehand,
yeah.
so I have
So I don't
something to
have.
go on at least.
Yeah. Now I played the first Portal game, and it was. I gotta say, it was fairly challenging, which I like to an extent. Uh, God, what was I gonna say? See, this is why I don't do podcasts. I suck at them.
This is why you need to take notes.
I know, right?
Probably should have thought of that beforehand.
You're right. I probably should have, but Portal 2 mainly. I'm gonna be honest here. I bought it for the story mostly, but the puzzles in the game are very challenging.
Isn't that what most people bought Portal 2 for? Was just the story?
The story.
I think it was Portal 1 that people cared more about the puzzles.
Yeah, in Portal 1 there is a way to get to the cake.
Only to find out that it's a lie.
Yeah.
Hence the meme.
God, Draco, I am sorry.
Oh, no worries.
You gotta understand, this is my first podcast ever.
No worries. We used to do this as a recording, so I could always edit things if I had to.
Yeah.
But you can't really do that with a live stream, or at least not as easily, at least.
No way. Let me think. The wheel is spinning, but the hamster's on a lunch break.
Is that pretty much it for you?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. That's fine. Everyone has those brain fart moments.
Yeah.
Anyway, as for me, I chose to go with the more recently famous game, which was Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. I haven't had a chance to actually play it myself yet, maybe because I haven't had anyone to play it with. There. The reason that this game is my favorite, though, is because this game combines real-world knowledge and communication stuff, such as Morse code, color coordination, mazes, etc., with the non-puzzle based things like verbal communication, such as listening, hearing, asking questions, describing things, etc. Also includes patience, even when racing against the clock, partnership, cooperation, and a few other things. Uh, this game helps build teamwork skills, communication skills, patience, and attention to detail. So yeah, since it is a very unique game that combines so much together, this is why, from my opinion, it's the best puzzle game to date. At least to me.
Awesome.
Yes.
No.
So,
Oh.
I've heard of is it Don't Stop Talking and Nobody Explodes?
Keep talking and nobody.
Keep talking and nobody explodes. I've heard of it. I actually have a few friends that play it. They do really enjoy it.
I've seen a lot of big YouTubers actually play it, and they seem to have lots of fun playing it.
Yeah, I've played it once before. It was fairly interesting.
I saw Smosh Games play it quite recently with most of the members of Warp Zone, some as well as some solo YouTubers like Markiplier and Moiskerm, I believe his YouTube name is, Jacksepticeye, and quite a few others that normally don't play two-player attention to detail cooperation type of games, and they seem to love it. Actually, I think Jacksepticeye even played it as part of a VR video once.
18 minutes in, and I feel like I already killed the live stream.
Well, so it's kind of like the thinking about co-op stuff. It's kind of like the Portal 2 co-op, which is actually a lot of fun.
It's dealing with
I
4
guess
balls instead of 2.
I guess if you're playing the two player version, yeah.
Yeah.
One player kind of sucked, I think.
I don't know. Myself and the boyfriend played through Portal 2 co-op, and we would intentionally kill each other. So it's like we were still trying to solve the puzzles, but it'd be like, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun, and we'd set up a intentionally fatal situation and drop the other person into it.
So basically, you're trolling each other.
Well, he's my boyfriend. I can do that.
Fair enough.
I forget who started that too. That was one of those things where one of us did. It was accidental, like the first time, and then after that, it became not so accidental. All good selections, actually, depending on what you're looking for in a game. Quantum Conundrum is all single player, so.
Yeah, there was a lot of good puzzle games. It was hard to find ones that were my least favorite, though, since I don't really play too many puzzle games. I'm more of a trivia type person, not really much of a puzzle person.
Yeah. I mean, the puzzles, I find I like puzzle games a little more than trivia games. I have played the Jackbox series of trivia games, or you don't know Jack. I remember the first You Don't Know Jack when it came out.
Oh, before Jackbox was a thing?
Before Jackbox was a thing. Yeah, back in 93, 94, I think.
It started that early?
Yeah, it was a CD. Like, it was one of the first games. We bought a copy of it for the Mac we had in our house, so that the family could play the game together.
That's why, because I think for the Windows it came out a little bit later. I think.
I don't know. We can find out though. That's what the internet's for.
True.
Let's see here. You don't know Jack. You don't know.
Unless there was a few variations before Y2K. Because I remember my grandparents used to have a copy. That was back when just before Who Wants to Be a Millionaire became a CD game.
You Don't Know Jack, Volume 1, September 12th, 1995.
I was 2 years old.
Oh, I feel old now. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was we must have picked up. So they must have picked it up like right when I was leaving high school.
That would have been about 6.5 around that time, roughly.
Yeah, I remember, and it was a dual release. Like, it was a PC Mac release at the time it came out. But yeah, it's gone on to since be a larger thing. I remember playing the first one. It was fun. It's been a long time. My friends actually play the Jackbox ones when we get together to do parties, so they're pretty solid.
Nice. There is a game that's like based off of Portal. It's called Cube.
Oh yeah, QUBE, I believe it's spelled.
Yes.
Odd spelling for it, but.
Now, there's two versions of it, the original and the director's cut. The director's cut gives you more of a story behind it. The original just throws you in there and tells you, hey, solve this puzzle to get out. don't like that. Throw me in a freaking box and tell me that, hey, you gotta solve this in order to get out of here. Black Mesa can bite my bankrupt.
Right?
Yeah.
So we've touched upon the ones that we like. So what are the ones we don't like, guys?
Oh, that's easy for me. For the least favorite, uh, there's an old game that started back when Yahoo, MSN, and Hotmail were still a popular thing. And for those who are still too young to know, MSN and Hotmail were separate things for a while. I believe MSN bought Hotmail. Anyway, back when they were still a popular thing, and back while AOL was pretty much on its way to being obsolete, not quite obsolete at the time, which was around the early to mid 2000s range roughly. This game had originally started on a pretty old-fashioned website, which was Pogo.com. Um, and what is this game, you might ask? It's called Poppit. Poppit! Exclamation mark. Poppit is a game that is pretty much like a little bit like Bejeweled, where you click on a set of 3 or more colors of the same color. Only instead of gems, it's done with balloons, and instead of colors being replaced, once the balloons have been popped, you get no more balloons to replace them at all. So in a way, this is more about strategy due to having a limited number of balloons in a game. The reason this game, from my opinion, is the worst game is pretty much because the game itself is literally flooded with pop-ups. Not only that, but the game also requires the player to be signed in into the Pogo.com website in order to play it. But this game is also pretty bad because of how little the game has involved in it. All it seems to be about is just strategy and nothing else really. Games like that I find are not really worth the 20 or so minutes it takes to get an account with the site just to play a game. And even then, you literally cannot play any of the games on that site, which, from what I looked up, it's only available on that site. Um, even after you get or even after you get an account to play the game, you still have to deal with nearly 20 seconds of advertisements every 10-ish minutes roughly, thus interrupting whatever game you're playing at the time. So yes, this is pretty much why Poppit, in my opinion, is the worst game to play. And yes, you can thank Pogo.com for being the number one horrible game from my opinion.
Good point.
Very good points. Alright, my turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see here. A game that came out for the SNES. We all know the popular game Tetris, right? Well,
Yeah.
what about its sequel, Tetris 2? Now, this game was an interesting one. I remember this very clearly. We start out with not trying to make break lines, but you are trying to break gemstone. The colors were blue, pink, and yellow. Level 1 started out with 3 gemstones. Now, in order to get a higher score, you would try to break these gemstones first before you fill up the bars. And if you break them quick enough, you get bonus points and bonus gems to break up the pieces in the next level. But it only works out for the first 5 levels. Once you get up to, let's say, level 10 or level 15, it starts getting harder and harder. There's more blocks, more bricks, more gems to break. And every 5 levels you get a little cutscene. Funny cutscenes still, but they're still cutscenes. Anyways. Whew. Let's see. By the time you reach level 30, there's 30 levels in the game. By the time you reach level 30, you only have 3 spaces at the top, making it virtually impossible to beat the game. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never beaten the game at all. If I can find it again, I'll play it and I'll try to beat it, but I can't promise anything. And that is why Tetris 2, or was it 2000? Can't remember. No, 2. Tetris 2 is my least favorite game.
Okay. Least favorite puzzle game. You guys both know I've been gaming since the early 80s, so I've got a long list of games that I've played that are difficult puzzle ones. Everything from the text-based Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy game to, well, my least favorite game, which was a little game that came out in the early 90s, 93 to be precise, called Myst. Myst was a great and interesting game. The setting is one of the first high quality, graphically intensive games. It was all pre-rendered video for the most part, but the puzzles in the game were oftentimes maddening and very frustrating. They weren't intuitive. They weren't puzzles that you could sit down and look at and puzzle through. Most of them required some degree of research.
Oh, wow.
And some cases there was math involved that was far beyond my poor high school brain at the time. And in some cases there were, word games or riddles. But there were things that weren't immediately intuitive. Like you couldn't sit down and, puzzle through something sometimes in an afternoon. I could remember a couple puzzles taking days to solve, if not longer. And a lot of trial and error and which is fine, which is great, except that it falls into one of those weird categories of gameplay for me where for those in watching us who don't know, I have an issue with games that use grind, as in like you need to grind out resources for doing X in order to advance the game. Or I finished the game, but I don't have gear, all the gear necessary to take on these few extra challenges. I have to put in an additional 40 hours of grind just to get the equipment to take on these last few challenges. I don't like the use of grind to artificially extend the length of a game. And some of the puzzles in Myst felt that they were more difficult than they had to be in order to increase the length of the game itself. Um, and I have issues with that on a fundamental level because you shouldn't it shouldn't require you to spend you know 10-15 hours researching a single puzzle in order to solve one relatively minor part of the game to move the storyline forward. I just feel that's unnecessary. Now, of course, this was 1993, 94 when the game came out, and so at the time, a game like this hadn't really been done before. So I can give them a little bit of a pass on the fact that it had never been done before. But at the same time, like it's one of the most frustrating and not. I won't say it's the worst puzzle game. The puzzles in the game are the worst, but the storyline that the game tells and the visual fidelity and work that they put into the game is actually really nicely done. Just the puzzles, I hated them so bad, and that's why Myst is one of the worst puzzle games, from my opinion.
Wow, I was not expecting us to go through all of that with only like half an hour.
Well, I
Well, we
did.
can always play. We can always talk about our other games, you know.
Well, we could always do runner ups.
Yeah, why not?
There you go. Runner ups are always good.
Well,
Go
since I
ahead.
since that was your idea, you could always start Dusky.
For
Yeah,
what
there we
other
go.
games?
Runner ups.
Oh,
Run,
okay.
run, run, runner up for puzzle games.
Let's
You
see.
can
There
either
Where,
was
you can either do runner up for best or runner up for worst, whichever you prefer.
oh, I'm gonna do both.
runner for worst would be World of Goo.
I actually saw
Just
Jacksepticeye playing that, and that doesn't look too bad.
it's just too complicated for me. I tried it and I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
So basically, you're hating on it because it's too hard for you.
Yeah. It's like my first time trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. I couldn't hack it.
You do realize that's the whole point of a puzzle game, is it's supposed to be hard?
True.
So you're hating it for it being itself and
Yes.
what it's supposed to be.
Oh, drat.
Oh god.
Uh, what else? It's like I had no means to control it.
I had another one that I wanted to say, and I don't remember what it was. Uh, oh, good one. As a in my opinion, would be a runner-up to your Tetris would be Wetris.
Ah.
That was basically like a land type of a land building type of game, but with Tetris-like blocks. And and every once in a while you'll get a water source block, which means uh, if you put it in somewhere where there's a fully encased area, you'll be fine unless there's already water coming up to the top of it. Otherwise, it's just going to overflow. So you kind of got add Tetris strategy with 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 the whole strategy of how are you going to keep the water from overflowing. Plus, in the multiplayer version, you also get uh, bombs or attack water blocks. You can actually sabotage your opponent that way.
That reminds me, in Tetris 2, there's actually the first Tetris game to feature multiplayer with power-ups. Like,
Tetris 2 was the first with power-ups?
I think, I'm not sure, I'd have to research that. It was one of the first games.
Well, we do have the internet you could look up.
I know, but I have a controller in my hands.
Uh,
Darn it.
Doodle?
Yes. So runner-ups, like I'm still trying to think what would be um if we're talking puzzle games, I'm gonna reach far, far back in the ancient ages of early history, and there was a game called when was it released? Now I'm questioning when I remember playing it. 1986.
Oh, you're going that far back.
I'm going that far back. I remember playing this trying to play this on a Commodore 64, and at the time I couldn't really make sense of it. Released by Infocom, and it was kind of a puzzle game called Leather Goddesses of Phobos. It's a combination. It's a text adventure, but it was a combination puzzle game and science fiction, and it was predominantly, you know, but the game was interesting, and I still occasionally make use of elements, or make reference to elements in the game. My favorite one is visiting the eyelids room. There's a point in the game where you're knocked unconscious, and when you wake up, you're in the eyelids room. And if you're not, you can spend a lot of time trying to get out of the eyelids room, going south, west, north, up, down, whatever, right? And you can't. It gives you some text about moving in a direction. No, the way to get out of the eyelids room is to open up your eyes, which was novel to me at the time. So but it was witty, and it was fun, and it's kind of interesting. Interesting game, and it's probably would be my runner-up for a good puzzle game. Though I'm sure if we played it now, it would show its age really, really badly. It being a text adventure from the mid '80s, and so that would be my runner-up for a good puzzle game. I'm not sure what would qualify as a bad puzzle. Like what my runner-up for a bad puzzle game would be. I'm sure I could think of one. It might take me a few moments, so I'm going to pass the baton to someone else to talk about their runner-up for worst puzzle or trivia game.
Set up!
What was that?
Son of a pineapple! Just died for the 6th time again!
What?
Someone's playing God of War.
God of War 2 to be precise.
Yes.
The thing is, I beat this game 5 times already. Why am I buying it again?
You're asking us?
Yes.
How are we supposed to know?
I have never played God of War.
Trust me, it hurts. I need a... Excuse me for a minute. I think I just killed the podcast again. I'm sorry.
Well, what's your runner-up for worst puzzle game?
Worst puzzle game would have to be Cube.
No,
QUBE.
runner-up for worst.
Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, runner up. Worst runner up would be
Oh yeah,
QUBE.
QUB. Okay.
They just, for one, if you need to get a director's cut, because that's the only way you'll find out why you're in the place in the first place. If you just get the original, then you're just thrown into an elevator going downward. You got these superpowered gloves that can extract blocks, like colored blocks. If I remember correctly, I got to the green blocks, and that's where I freaking lost every track of time trying to get through that room. And now I can't open my Pepsi!
Someone's just having a hard time today. Wow.
Excuse me.
So how about yourself there, Dracos?
That's actually a tough one, really. As I said, I don't really play too many puzzle games. I guess my runner-up for the best would probably be the Escape the Room games in general.
Okay.
Because I find they're actually interesting. They make you think. Plus, every once in a while, you have to write something down, or you're going to lose it or forget it. It actually does make you think. Okay, what does this go to? What does what do these numbers represent? What do these these colors of flowers represent? You have to try to find how things in the environment represents something that's in one of the many puzzles in the game. And it's a solo thing, so you can't really just turn around and ask someone else for help. You have to try to do it yourself.
Okay. So I went for runner-up for a puzzle game I liked. I'll do a runner-up for the puzzle game I don't like. There's a game called Gas Pump Girls Meet the Pulsating Inconvenience from Planet X.
Long enough,
Also,
Nate?
Gas Pump Girls Meet the Pulsating Inconvenience from Planet X.
Giggity.
Also known as Leather Goddesses of Phobos 2. It was a point-and-click adventure that apparently, I remember it coming out. I must have played it because I do remember like the title screens, and I do remember trying to play it. But it was it was crass. The puzzles in it were not very well thought out. It was so you know those games that like the first one comes out and it's really amazing, and then like a second or different studio makes a sequel to the game, but it's like shitty, and it only seems to exist to take advantage of like the name of the game.
Yep.
Yeah, that's this game. This is one of those games. It was very poorly received when it came out, and it's just, unlike the first one, which is still well thought of today, this one is largely forgotten, as as your guys' response pretty thoroughly indicates.
Have you, Dusky? Have you thought of what you were going to say earlier?
For what?
You you're trying to say something, but then you got interrupted by your game.
I was gonna say that Cube was basically you either know what the signs are or you don't, and you're just gonna be trapped there forever, waiting for wait. To put it bluntly, you either solve the puzzles or you die there. You don't really die, but in retrospect, it's like you're trying to escape a room, no food, no water, no nothing.
Jeez.
Speaking of which, if you'll excuse me, I have to use the bathroom real quick.
Thanks for sharing.
I could have said worse.
True. I guess we're waiting for him to get back.
I suppose. I mean, we've got a little bit of dead air. We only got 10 minutes left in this particular little podcast.
I did leave it open for about 2 hours because I thought it was going to take longer, but apparently not.
Well, I mean, the last time that we did this, when we recorded the last one of these, how quickly were we done? Like 30 minutes or something like that? We were done really quick. So we might want to consider, like, we legitimately might want to consider going forward. We might want to look at maybe possibly adding other aspects to this particular segment, unless all you want to do is keep this segment kind of short. Because unless it's a complicated subject, we're going to be done relatively quickly.
She's right, you know.
Oh, you're back.
Yep. Or we could do what FPS does.
FPS?
Fun Day Puppet Show.
Oh, okay.
They just go on and, you know, they have a visual aspect, but they talk about random stuff, and they, you know, they're not just bound to one subject. They got like multiple things to talk about. Like they'll say, "Oh, what happened during their day" or whatever. And
Well, technically, this is supposed to be a opinionated thing, so technically anyone could bring up anything into the episodes.
I'm not ruining it, am I?
No, you're fine.
Okay, good. Because the last thing I want to do is like have someone say, "Oh, you're ruining this. You're kicked out." Blah blah.
You're kicked out? Why would someone say that?
That's what happened last time I was in a Discord group.
No, not going to happen here, I don't think.
I mean, I got kicked out for being my goofy self.
You've been your goofy self this entire time and you've never had a problem, have you?
No.
There you
Not
go.
yet, at least.
So I don't think you have anything to worry about there.
No. By the way, out of curiosity, am I the only one that's tried to message Jasper?
I don't even know who that is.
Jasper Pie?
Don't know who that is.
Don't know. Sorry.
You know, from the analysis videos?
I don't watch analysis videos normally.
Oh. So you don't know who Thespio and Jasper are?
Nope.
Dang.
Nope. I think that's just you.
Yeah, pretty much. What? Are we still live?
Yeah.
Yes.
Son of
What?
a...
You're gonna have to learn how to deal with this whole live thing.
Ah!
So the folks watching the stream, congratulations. Here's Dusky Shine, not used to being live, everyone. Everyone give the gentleman a round of applause,
Oh,
please.
God. Well, in that case, let me just say, welcome to the most must-see YouTube live stream in the universe. Welcome to Draconically Speaking.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna channel Ruby Rod from Fifth Element?
No, I was trying to be the Miz.
Oh, okay.
God, all these games that I have are ones that still frustrate me.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Uh,
Sounds like you're really tired.
I was up till 4 in the morning. My two dogs got into a fight and we had to separate them for the night. But I'm still my goofy self, that's for sure.
Well, who else
Hey,
are you supposed to be?
Normal. There
That
are normal ponies?
that's who you're supposed to be?
No, no, it's supposed to be. What are we talking about?
Who are you?
I don't know. I don't know who either of you are, so you know.
uh, how did I get here again?
Where, wait, where are we?
We're in China.
We're here.
What's this China?
Well, good night, everybody.
Wait, you're leaving right now?
Nope, I'm just. I
Oh,
don't know, I'm just trying to mimic something.
okay.
How we talk about hard hack and slashers?
But what?
Hack and slashers, the games where you have to button mash and you've got swords or
Oh,
guns, whatever.
I don't know. I still think the pinnacle of this would be either Devil May Cry or Warframes.
Hmm.
Because Devil May Cry is all about the button mashing,
Yeah.
and Warframe is button mashing with multiplayer.
Hmm.
uh, most part of Soul Calibur franchise was about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played any of those.
Trying to keep it going here. Little Big Planet, that's a good game.
Yes.
Apparently, the birds didn't say otherwise. uh,
Actually, I do have to get going. My mom's gonna be home any minute.
Oh, well, it has been about an hour, and normally we try, at least I try and keep these things running for about an hour. I
Yeah.
hear there's a charity stream still going on for the rest of today.
Actually, for the most of the week, actually.
Nice.
The
Nice.
charity campaign started on the 29th, ends on the 6th.
I'll see if I can pop in tomorrow.
Oh, the next stream. Next stream after this is in a couple hours, and after that, it's on Thursday, I believe.
Okay. Never mind then. I'll be back. I'll be back soon though. Okay.
All right.
All right. See you guys later.
All right, see ya.
Peace out.
And then there were two.
And then there were two. Well, we're here. I mean, I don't know what more to talk about. Like, I don't really have a whole lot I thought about, or to.
If I
Wow.
actually, we could always we could always talk about something that we may have missed in the previous episodes.
Could. Something that just kind of blew my mind. One of the games that got me into being a hardcore gamer was a game called Wizardry, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlords. It wasn't called that at the time. It was just called Wizardry. And just for shits and giggles, I decided to look up and see if there was a new game, because there were eight games released in the series. And so I went and looked it up, and the game, where is it? The PC version is 500 kilobytes. Consider that even a small game in this day and age is usually a couple of megabytes.
Actually they're getting into gigabytes at this point.
Well, I know that, but I mean, even today, like a small game is at least a couple of megabytes, right?
Oh yeah, mobile games that are at least 4 megabytes per game.
Yeah, so this is 500 kilobytes. So, like, think about that for a moment in comparison.
I don't think that's even a meg, is it?
Nope, it's half a meg. It's not even. Yeah, it's like half a meg. And it was really good. Like, at the time it came out, it was pretty impressive for its time. It's one of the games that kind of set up party-based RPG games on computers. Actually, came out in 1984.
Oh, shortly before LAN party games were a thing.
Yeah, actually. And the other game series that was interesting that came out around the same time was a game called Elite, which was a space combat sim. Let's see. When did that come out? I want to say that was 90 or 86. 84. Let's see, and I quote, open-ended game model. This is 1984. Keep this in mind. Open-ended game model. So it did not have like a linear storyline like most games had at the time. Revolutionary 3D graphics. At the time, it did have 3D graphics. I think it was the first game to do so. It used wireframe 3D graphics with hidden line removal. Ooh. Aw. Trying to think what else it did that was considered unusual at the time. massive amounts of worlds to go and visit.
Was it actually before MMO?
Yeah, it was not an MMO. It was a single player.
Jeez.
Had 500-600 worlds that you could go and visit. Now, and keep in mind, this is in 1984, that where like you have 500 or 600 worlds you can go and visit, and trading that could happen, and 3D. It was 3D graphics, space combat. It was one of the first space combat games of its time. Ooh, I'm starting to get tired. But it was it's later given spawn to a bunch of different ones. It was the game that inspired Wing Commander. It was the game that inspired Descent, one of the games that inspired Descent. They just released a game called Elite Dangerous, which is a multiplayer version of that same kind of experience. So anyway, don't forget the history of video games that we play today, folks, because everything we play today has its history in the 70s and 80s.
And part of the 90s, too.
Yeah, but less so. Even fighting games got their start in the 80s.
Well, wasn't it in the 90s when the whole Mario franchise began?
No. Super Mario Brothers started earlier. Mario Brothers, because it was Mario Brothers. Let's see here.
Because I know it was on the
1983.
So even before the NES.
Yep, 1983.
What was it on back then?
Published for arcades by Nintendo in 1983.
So basically, it's an arcade exclusive thing.
Yep, and then you had Donkey Kong, which was also started the same. Mario also started Origin Games. Where is it? Donkey Kong, which was released in. Oh, they don't give a release date here, but I know it was originally 81.
I'm starting to think that you're probably the fact finder of the whole group.
Well, I like to know what I'm talking about, and I have been known to be wrong, so I tend to double check things. And then Super Mario came out in 1985. Anyway, there you go. So everything that we know today from gaming has its roots in ancient history. It's kind of like how our political system is based off of the Greek one. Loosely based off of the Greek one, but based off the Greek one from I want to say 500 BC or something. I have to go look that up. That's history. I'm a little less solid on my ancient history. But the concept of a democracy stems from Greek theoretical form of government that Athens experimented with. So I don't really have a whole lot more. And I'm sorry that once again that we seem to be quicker and less faster than what you have set up and in mind. Like I mentioned earlier, we probably want to think about doing more than just like one segment if we're going to do this live, because otherwise it'll be like, oh, we do this and it's half an hour and then we're done, and then we spend like the other half an hour trying to figure out what to do.
Uh, and it's just the two of us, so it's kind of hard to come up with something for just two people.
Well, that's why you do segments. But anyway, we can talk about that later. I don't have a whole lot more. Do you got anything else for our viewers, listeners?
We could go on to game consoles if you want.
Well, game consoles. Best and worst game console? Wow, that's deep.
Fun fact is, some sites are saying, I'm actually looking this up right now, some sites are saying that Magnavox was the first console, some are saying Atari was the first console.
I think it was Coleco, actually.
And some are actually saying something called the brown box was the first console.
Game consoles wiki. 1972 to 1980 would be first generations of game consoles.
Atari was in 72.
So is Magnavox.
So they're about the same time.
No, actually, no. Magnavox was first. Atari was 1975 or 1970 later.
According to AmericanHistory.si.edu, Atari was in 72.
Magnavox Odyssey series started 1972. Atari Home Pong started 1975.
Well, someone's got to get their facts straight then, because the website is saying otherwise.
Yeah. We could actually look at, let's see, where's Atari as a company? Pong on a chip.
I don't think is Atari even around anymore?
They're owned by another company. Yeah, they are. But they are owned by another company. They're no longer a game console maker. So Atari was founded in 1972.
June 28th, to be exact.
Yes.
In Sunnyvale, California.
Yep.
The first American one, apparently. It looks like.
Yes. Yeah, it wouldn't be. Releases. Yeah, see, they were founded in 1972, but they didn't release anything until much later. Like, 1976. Atari Video Computer System, or VCS. Which is basically a game console as we understand them now, had an introductory price of $200, equivalent to almost $900 today.
And apparently Magnavox is actually another company as well. Philips.
Yes, yeah. So the first console that Atari released was the 2600, which I had.
Yeah, whoever runs that American History site needs to get their facts straight.
Yeah, I mean, as a company, they existed earlier, and they had their hands in developing games and things for other ones. But the ColecoVision came out before the Atari one. That they because Coleco released stuff in 1976. Atari released Pong, which was 1975. And
Hello? Hello?
hello?
Ah, now I can hear you.
Yeah, Discord does that sometimes.
What the fuck?
Well, welcome to modern technology.
Hey, at least we have this technology.
True. So let's see.
This time,
Most.
about 10, 15 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to talk right now. Not without a
Oh, we
phone,
would
at
have.
least.
We would have. We just would have been using like something else, and the quality wouldn't be as good.
I guess if
So
you count Skype,
yeah, Skype and what's the other one?
which is probably I think Skype is the second worst one for me. Uvu would be
Yeah,
the first one.
it's not particularly good. Yep. So yeah, 1972 is the first game console, but the first game console, as we would recognize it, was close. It was a little bit later, like 78 or so. So there you go. Now you know.
The one time we need more people in in the call. Well, we do still have the we still have a couple of topics from before that we haven't gotten a chance to use.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just the two of us, right?
Sure.
Like, when was the last Philips Odyssey released?
I think that would be the Magnavox Odyssey.
Yeah, well, it later became the Philips Odyssey.
So they basically just renamed it.
Well, once they owned Magnavox, yeah.
Oops. Fair enough. I really need to get a better headset.
You do. So 1978 was the last one of the last Odyssey. I kind of want to see if I could collect a version of each of these. I mean, it's like,
It didn't really stick around that long, did it?
What, Atari or Magnavox?
Magnavox.
I don't know. 6 years.
And yet there's companies like Atari who have been, or Atari the company has been around for longer, but the game system Atari I think stopped selling in the late 80s I think,
The consoles. Let's
or
see
not late,
here.
early 80s I mean.
Let's see here.
And nowadays consoles seem to last about 8 to 10 years, but they don't. They're basically obsolete within about 5 to 8 years max.
So Atari stopped selling computers slash hardware. The last console was 93. And that was the Atari Jaguar.
Wow, they were still going after the 80s.
Yep. Well, and the Jaguar was interesting because it was the first 64-bit, graphic 64-bit game console ever.
I thought the very first Nintendo would be the first.
What, 64-bit?
Yeah.
No, the first Nintendo was like 8-bit, dude.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo was 16. Like, you don't understand. Like, the Atari Jaguar was released in an era where, like, 16 and 32-bit consoles were considered high tech.
Fair. But if we're going with favorites, or most or least favorite, I guess. My my least favorite would be the not the Wii but the Wii U,
Mm.
because all they basically did was mimic the Sega Genesis, the handheld one, and set it up to work for the Wii. That at least that's what it seems like to me. They so basically they just ripped off one company's and set it up for their own. But as for my favorite, I would say handheld wise, it would be the Game Boy Advance SP, and for standalones, it would be the PS2, because the PS2 was the first PS system that allowed online gameplay of the Sony systems. I mean, still there?
Huh. Yeah, I'm still here.
I thought
I'm
Discord
just
couldn't
reading.
go again.
Nope, I'm just reading about Atari's current actions, actually, because they're still around as a company.
Yeah, they just mainly do the odd game here and there. They don't really do much else.
Well, they're owned by a company called Infogrames, which, Infogrames bought them, and then Infogrames then changed their name to Atari.
They bought a company and then changed their own name to that company name.
Yep.
They had to make it a little harder, didn't they?
apparently one of their original co-founders is currently on their board of one of the original Atari founders is on their board of directors, which is interesting. They're also releasing a new console. The Atari VCS. System was first revealed in June 2017, and pre-orders began in 2018. Built and designed to look like an Atari 2600.
For a moment there, I legit thought you said VHS.
No, VCS, video computer system.
I was going to say they're bringing back the VHS tapes.
No. Atari announced that they would be delaying the launch of the VCS to the end of 2019 and announced the system has upgraded to an unannounced embedded 14 nanometer AMD Ryzen processor with Radeon Vega based graphics and 2 Zen CPU cores. Supports 4K playback with modern HDCP and has built-in Ethernet and secure frame buffers. So there you go.
Well, I think one company has already beaten them to bringing back an old system, and I believe that's Sony that brought back the PS1 Mini, I think it's called.
Yeah, they did that. I would really like them to bring back the PlayStation Portable with the UMD discs because I have a ton of UMD discs, but they haven't done that yet. So
I don't remember if the PS1 Mini is out now or it's coming out this year.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now, actually. Release date. Oh, actually, it was released on December 3rd of last year.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't think that was out already, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the two consoles that killed the respective console companies. The Sega Saturn was the other one. That's the one that drove Sega out of the market. Oh,
I'm not really sure what else to talk about right now.
no, nothing says we have anything else to talk about. Like I said, that we're gonna probably have to add other segments in order to just keep our viewership interested and to keep ourselves from having dead air. So on that note, I move that we cut and call it. It's now 1:30 my time. Yeah, that way you could go and continue to get prepped. I actually have to go and apply for jobs and that kind of thing today. I have to get back on the job hunt. So.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah, it's been kind of rough. It's been kind of rough. I haven't had a lot of A lot of interviews, a lot of resumes put out, a lot of applications put out, but no people saying you're hired. So
Yeah, I know how that is. I spent about 5 to 10 years searching for a job, only to find out that my medical records are saying that, and I quote, "not able to work,"
yeah.
which of course fucks up everything that I just did.
Well, you do what you got to do, you know. Hopefully you'll be able to. If you're looking, hopefully you'll be able to find something.
Well, I got. Unfortunately, I have no choice but to wait until, or to find out what on ODSP or not ODSP, OHIP says. Oh no, it is ODSP. What ODSP says if they're going to keep me on disability, or if I have to start looking for a job again. So unless ODSP changes the status on my medical records from Manitoba, I can't really do shit all right now.
Well, hopefully it gets resolved soon.
I guess only time will tell. Actually, I got a little bit of mail a couple weeks ago from them. I should know by the end of October.
Okay, well, hopefully it's sooner than then because that's a long time.
That's how long it normally takes with Ontario's government.
Ah, okay.
Actually, it took me about 2 to 3 months just to just from the date that I asked about a family doctor to the date that I actually saw a family doctor,
Mm.
and that's just for one appointment. Meanwhile, back in Manitoba, it would only take maybe 3 weeks at the most.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been to a doctor in ages. I should probably make an appointment and get a physical done. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, hopefully it'll be sooner.
Yeah, like I said, only time will tell.
Yes.
Speaking of time, since we since we can't really think of anything else to talk about, I guess we're kind of a half an hour short.
Yeah, we'll cut it half an hour short this week. We'll have to brainstorm, come up with some other things we can do and discuss, and that way we can keep it long. Actually, I would honestly say we should aim for an hour, because an hour gives us time to talk about the things that we think about whatever subject it is, and then also gives us a little bit of time to discuss other things.
Well,
2 hours.
normally it is an hour, but
Okay.
because it being two topics this time, so one I thought I would have gone on longer, but apparently not.
No. Not when we kind of bundled. Not even like things usually happen faster than you think they should when it comes to certain topics. Like we're not. It's not like we're talking politics, you know. Um. Anyway, I don't know.
Maybe next time we should make a more broad topic.
Possibly, that would be good.
I was thinking of including a more recent YouTube based topic, but I'm not sure if I should because it involves a recent YouTuber death.
Mm. Yeah, I heard that someone died recently.
Etika.
Yes. It was all over Twitter.
All over Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. It, it's hard to miss it, basically. kind of sad.
Anyway,
Kind of sad that uh, one of the fellow creators had to die like that.
it happens though. I mean,
True.
it's unfortunate. But it happens. Like it's. Mm.
Anyway, that's another talk for another time.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I didn't know enough about the guy, so
Me neither, really. I just heard of it from Jack said guy the other day. I figured my found out who this Etika was, only to find out what happened.
mm.
Anyway, uh, I guess that's pretty much it for today. I guess,
Yeah, that's a wrap.
at least for the
So
podcast.
at least for this, for now, for today, obviously, clearly, we need to refine what we're doing for the future casts, future versions of this. Let us know what you think in the comments below. I shouldn't be doing your job. That's kind of your job.
Hey, you're just making it easier for me.
Yeah, but that's like it feels like I'm taking over your thing. So I'm gonna let you do
Well,
your thing.
technically, this is our thing. It's a group thing now.
That's true, but the other members of the group aren't here. But anyway, go ahead and do your thing. Lay down your comments and your outro, and we'll see you guys, all of you listeners, watchers, viewers, internet denizens. We'll see you all next time.
And for those uh, who might be watching the VOD of this stream later, please comment below what you like us to talk about. Uh, Possibly something more broad, so that way we have more time to talk rather than having so much dead space. Um, anyway, after in about an hour and 45 minutes from now, roughly, or no, an hour and 25 minutes. Sorry. Uh, we will get into the gaming or gaming portion of the live stream for today. But for now, there's just going to be about an hour and a half break roughly before that. Um, if you guys want, you can leave a charity donation by going to tiltify.com/@DragosDragon. Um, there you'll find the Tiltify page, and just click donate and just follow the prompts and questions that it gives you. Pretty simple. Um, Also, the charity for this week is Trans Lifeline. Uh, if you didn't hear about it earlier, I mentioned it a little bit. I noticed I had a little accent there. Uh, the charity is a non-profit charity that uh, supports the trans people, the trans community in general, and answers any comments and questions and concerns that some people might have, either going through the transgender process, becoming a transgender, or just about the transgender community in general. Um, I feel like I repeated myself there a little bit. What was- if you want to learn more about Trans Lifeline, you can go translifeline.com. I believe it's .com. Um, I can't really think of anything else. Uh, yeah, I can't.
I got nothing.
If you like this live stream, uh, fire up the subscribe button. If you're watching this later on, watching this as a VOD, fire and you like this video, fire up the like button, fire up the subscribe button, and I guess we'll see you join us later. See ya.
Peace out.